They say science reveals the truth, but what if some truths were never meant to be seen? In 1895, one man's invention changed the world forever. It allowed us to see through flesh, discover diseases, and unlock medical miracles. But hidden behind this invention was a terrifying secret, a story buried in hospital archives and whispered among radiologists for decades. This is not just the story of the X-ray. This is the story of the X-ray curse, where science meets the supernatural. The year was 1895. Germany was at the center of a scientific revolution. Laboratories were buzzing with experiments on electricity, vacuum tubes, and mysterious rays. In a dimly lit lab at the University of Würzburg, a physicist named Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was working late. His desk was cluttered with Crookes tubes, strange glowing crystals, and handwritten notes. He was known as a man of precision. But that night, what he discovered was far beyond precision. While experimenting with cathode rays in a dark room, Röntgen noticed something strange. A screen coated with barium platinocyanide started to glow, even though the tube was covered. Some invisible energy was passing through solid objects. Curious, he placed various items between the tube and the screen, books, wood, even his hand. To his shock, the shadows of his bones appeared on the screen. The world had never seen such a thing. Röntgen named it X-rays because X represented the unknown. This invention spread like wildfire. Within months, hospitals around the world were using X-rays to look inside patients' bodies without surgery. It was hailed as a miracle of science. But in the excitement, no one asked the question, were we supposed to see everything these rays revealed? In early 1896, a young medical intern named Clara Weiss joined St. Johann Hospital in Munich. She was assigned to assist in the X-ray department, a new experimental section. Clara was intelligent but skeptical. She found the machine fascinating but eerie. The crackling electricity, the humming tubes, the flickering glow in a dark room, it felt more like a seance than a medical procedure. One winter night, Clara was left alone in the X-ray room with a patient, a 40-year-old man, complaining of pain in his ribs. She carefully positioned his chest, switched on the generator, and captured the image on a photographic plate. When she developed the plate in the dark room, her hands trembled. The image was clear, ribs, lungs, and something else. Behind the man's heart, there was a faint, smoky shadow, not like any anatomical structure she'd seen. It looked like a face, hollow eyes, a wide grin, almost human, but not quite. She assumed it was a processing error, but when she showed the plate to the chief radiologist, his face turned pale. He quietly ordered her to destroy it and never speak of it again. The next morning, the man was found dead in his hospital bed. No cause was determined, but nurses whispered that they saw him sitting up in the middle of the night, staring into the dark, murmuring, "It's inside me. It's watching." After that night, strange cases started piling up. Case 1. A woman's X-ray of her fractured arm showed, between her bones, a hand gripping her wrist. A second bony hand that wasn't hers. Weeks later, she claimed to see a shadowy figure following her home every night. Kati Tu Kurtak. A boy with pneumonia had his chest X-rayed. The film revealed a pair of eyes staring directly at the camera from inside his lungs. He died mysteriously that evening, choking not on phlegm, but as if something was pressing from inside. Case 3. Several technicians reported hearing whispers when the machines were switched on. Some claimed they saw silhouettes moving in the walls when the rays passed through. Word spread among hospital staff. The X-ray machine was revealing something more than flesh and bone. Some believed it was capturing souls. Others said it attracted spirits. like moths to light. One of the most chilling incidents occurred in 1901 in Vienna. Dr. Friedrich Baum, a respected radiologist, became obsessed with X-rays. He wanted to push the technology further to capture the moment of death, believing he could photograph the human soul leaving the body. He set up a private lab in the hospital's basement. Unofficially, he began conducting experiments on the deceased, placing freshly dead bodies in front of the machine and taking repeated X-rays. One night, janitors heard screaming from his lab. When they forced the door open, Baum was gone. The machine was still running, emitting a strange low-frequency hum. On the photographic plate developed later, only one image appeared, a shadowy figure, humanoid but distorted, standing right behind Baum. Its long fingers were wrapped around his shoulders. His own body was nowhere in the image, and in real life, he was never found. The lab was sealed. Officially, they said he disappeared due to radiation exposure and mental breakdown, but among hospital workers, it became known as the X-ray demon. As the decades passed, scientists dismissed these stories as hallucinations, film defects, or early radiation poisoning. They said early machines were unstable, films were double exposed, technicians worked in dark rooms for long hours, leading to psychological effects. People were superstitious during that era. All logical explanations, and yet some cases remained unexplained. Some plates showed perfect, clear, single exposures with unidentifiable figures in them. Others showed movements captured frame by frame as if something living was inside the body. During World War II, several field hospitals reported that some X-ray images of dying soldiers showed dark shadows leaving their bodies seconds before death. These reports were classified and later buried in archives. Fast forward to 2013, a hospital in Prague upgraded its X-ray machines to digital systems. Unlike the old photographic plates, these images could be zoomed, enhanced, and stored indefinitely. Late one night, technician Eva Novak was reviewing scans. One chest scan caught her eye, not because of a medical issue, but because something moved in the image. When she zoomed in, she saw a blurred humanoid outline near the patient's lungs. Assuming it was an error, she tried enhancing it, and then the shape sharpened. It looked like a face pressed against glass from inside the body. Eyes, mouth, nose. She froze. Then the screen flickered. For a split second, the face seemed to turn toward her. She screamed and pulled the plug. The next day, the patient, whose scan it was, died of a sudden heart attack. The autopsy revealed nothing abnormal. Eva quit her job 2 weeks later. She still refuses to talk to the media. Some fringe researchers believe the X-ray does not just reveal bones, it interacts with frequencies that the human eye cannot detect. They say there might be entities existing in parallel layers around us, unseen, unfelt, but always present. X-rays in rare conditions accidentally capture or awaken them. They call this spectral overlap. The idea that the radiation frequency overlaps with interdimensional imprints, exposing what our eyes were never meant to see. While mainstream science rejects this, hospitals have quietly destroyed thousands of unexplained images, calling them defective files. Some insiders say they are locked away in private archives, never to be made public. In 2020, a group of historians unearthed Röntgen's original laboratory notes. In one of his private entries, dated December 1895, he wrote, "Tonight, during the experiment, I felt a presence in the room, not human. When I placed my hand before the screen, I saw not one, but two hands. One was mine. The other did not belong to me." This note was never published in scientific journals. It was locked in his personal archive. The X-ray was meant to show us the truth hidden beneath our skin, but perhaps in doing so, it also peeled back a layer of reality we were never supposed to touch. So the next time you stand before that cold machine, remember, it's not just seeing your bones. Something else might be looking back at you. This is not a myth, not a legend. This is the forgotten story of the X-ray curse.